my! Oh, this one gets pretty, oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Yeah, I can't read any of that. 2025 marks the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The first time I ever saw it, it was in theaters with my mom, and when the movie was over, she was like, "Did you like it?" I was like, "Yeah!" And she was like, "Do you want to see it again?" I was like, "Yeah!" And so we snuck into another showing right afterwards. My mom was a huge Star Wars fan. It was how I got into it, and unfortunately, she passed last July from breast cancer. I'm trying not to get too emotional this early in the video, but for the past few months, I've been cleaning up and organizing all of her stuff. And in the process, I stumbled across a treasure trove. My mom's Star Wars fan archive from the early 2000s. 75 pounds worth of paper of fan material. It took hours to sort through everything. It all got sorted by category, from fan blogs and websites, to forums and message boards, photos, fan theories and predictions, interviews, lore, and what I'm sure many of you are interested in, fanfiction. The ancient texts! Keep in mind, guys, that this was before the big era of social media, and often when we talk about older fan culture, we think about, like, Trekkie housewives in the 70s sending Spock/Kirk fanzines to each other in the mail. From the 90s to the early 2000s was when fandom was transitioning and becoming more and more online. But it wasn't like how it is today, where fandom is mainly centered across a few big hubs, social media platforms. Everything was a lot more spread out and smaller across multiple fan archives and websites and blogs and forums. And a lot of the time, each of them would specialize in something, like a character or a ship, even a specific scene. It could be likened to Discord servers, communities on Tumblr or Twitter, or Tumblr blogs, but if you wanted fanworks, there wasn't an algorithm or feed that would deliver content to you based on things you may be interested in. Oftentimes, sifting generously through a search engine to find message boards, forums, private mailing lists, fan listings, live journals, and fan sites were the way to get access to communities of other fans. And this way of doing fandom is still around, mind you, but with the way fandom has shifted over more recent years, it's not as common, or as well known for that matter. I really want to make a video about the preservation of fan culture someday, because with everything being digital and online or streaming nowadays, it's really easy for things to become lost media, which makes finding physical fan archives like what's behind me really cool. The majority of stuff in there you can't find anymore because the websites they came from don't exist anymore. Or maybe they got absorbed into bigger hubs like fanfiction.net or Archive of Our Own. This is really exciting for me because this is basically like a time capsule of fandom culture. It's almost like an archaeological dig, only instead of finding old pottery, I'm probably gonna find Onidala smut. I still have 3 jumbo-sized boxes to sort through that are filled with nothing but bodice ripper romance novels with Fabio on the cover. The apple does not fall far from the tree. So with the timing of everything this year, I wanted to make this video as an homage to Star Wars, a piece of media very near and dear to my heart, as well as a celebration of my mom for Mother's Day. So let's get to it. Right off the bat, organizing everything was quite the endeavor. So as you can see, there's a lot to unpack here. There are 3 binders here, all of which are filled to the brim with printer paper, and then there are even more stacks of paper just floating outside the binders. All of this was printed out over the course of 4 years, from 2002 to 2006. Now, the reason this was all printed out in the first place was because my mom wanted to make a bunch of Star Wars themed scrapbooks with stuff she found online. I do my best not to wrinkle or rip anything. I want you guys to know that there were at least 2 or 3 other binders like this that unfortunately got tossed during a garage sale, so unfortunately we will never know what was inside those. And she printed out all of this at her work because she didn't want to waste the ink and paper we had at home. The boss makes $1 and I make a dime, that's why I print fanfic on company time. Where do I start? Oh, she added a cover for this binder. 2 and 3 were her favorite movies. 2 because of the romance, and 3 because of Anakin's downfall. Overall, it took about 4 hours for the first round of sorting, during which I came across many curious finds, including and not limited to magazines hyping up the release of Revenge of the Sith. Dude, okay, this is actually pretty cool. It's the official Episode 3 souvenir movie guide. Oh Obi-Wan Kenobi got a spread. Oh my god, get a close-up of the Squid Lake performers. Star Wars Ground Assault. Exclusive Comic-Con 2005 holographic Princess Leia, only $14. We've got the Star Wars New Essential Character Guide, updated for The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and the New Jedi Order. Ooh, Vader, the ultimate guide. Oh my god. Reserve your copy today. Take this card to any register, $5 deposit required. It's for the DVD copy of Revenge of the Sith. Oh, it expired on November 1st, 2005, though. Damn it. And he redeemed this at Toys R Us. Chats from message boards and forums, none of which were posted by my mom, by the way. I think she just printed them out because she thought they were funny. Yep, these message boards are definitely 2005. Crispy fried Anakin? Am I to understand that there is a leaked copy of Revenge of the Sith floating around somewhere? And this was posted on April 13th, 2005, about a month before the movie came out. There's some pretty chunky stacks in here. This is 20 pages, just printed out message boards. I know I'm not the only one who likes him almost better with that longer hair. Man, just when you think he can't get any hotter, sexier, he does that. Even the scars give him that more sinister look are gorgeous. He's gotta be the best looking villain in the world. This bickering is pointless. It doesn't seem to make sense. Star Wars very often makes no sense. Movie scripts. What the is this the Revenge of the Sith script? No, it's not. It's the first draft of A New Hope. Yeah, makes sense. The Star Wars. Oh god, we have another stack of a script. This one is for Revenge of the Sith. Oh, but this was posted on April 10th, 2005. Wait a minute. Okay, so the opening crawl looks the same, but some of the dialogue is different, so this might be an earlier draft. Wait a minute. Oh my god, it's the high ground scene. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Don't try it. Anakin's clothing blows into the lava river and ignites. Suddenly, Anakin bursts into flames and starts screaming. Movie screen caps. It's this tiny picture on this whole sheet of paper. Tiny Vader. This entire stack is nothing but screen caps from the movies, mostly from Attack of the Clones. And I mean a lot of movie screen caps. There's like a dozen copies of the same image. I think this is the entirety of Attack of the Clones, frame by frame. It's literally the entire movie. All of this are just screen caps. It's the CGI parasite. This entire stack is just pictures from Attack of the Clones. All sorts of fan-edited pictures and collages. This is a fan-made mock-up of an episode 3 poster before episode 3 came out though, so they used images from episode 2 as evident by the hairstyles. And then I found a bunch of these fan-made calendars that are mostly themed around Revenge of the Sith, but there are some Amidala ones, general Star Wars ones. Got a Hayden and Natalie one right here. This is like Instagram filters before Instagram existed. Again, reminder that my mom printed this all out at work because she didn't want to waste our printer ink, and that's a lot of ink. May 2004, April 2004. Oh, I guess some stills came out from Revenge of the Sith. This was like a year before it came out though, because it was released May 2005. Beautiful, kind, but sad. All hope dies May 19th. No. Family portrait. We've got Amidala with Luke and Leia. Another fan collage. Obviously Anakin / Hayden was my mom's favorite, but we do have some Obi-Wan love as well. His wet cat look on Kamino, his cheeky shy cloaked look, and then him screaming. Amidala plus Darth Vader in the corner, and then this was from another movie that Natalie did. I'm not sure which. We have a what if scenario fan calendar of Obi-Wan and Padme. What if love had happened in another direction? Obi-Wan and Padme. Unlikely, yes, but what if? Back in middle school, I did actually dabble a bit in Obi-Wan and Padme. I think it was called ColeyDoesThings, but that was before Satine from Clone Wars came into the picture, and yeah, still though, this is fun to think about. Now that's a sleep paralysis demon. More fan-made prototype episode 3 posters. We've got a whole fandom collage featuring Smallville, Star Wars, Disney, Harry Potter, Peter Pan. Tons of pictures in general of anything and everything Star Wars related. We've got a picture of a souvenir stamp sheet for Star Wars. Who's your daddy? Yet another Who's Your Daddy? This is a cut-off movie poster. Instead of saying Vader, it just says Durr. This tiny photo of Anakin in his Vader helmet. Tiny Amidala. These kind of look like the Valentines you would pass out in elementary school. Anakin Skywalker checkbooks. From baby Anakin all the way up to Force Ghost Anakin. A lot, and I mean a lot, of Hayden Christensen, ranging from official interviews and articles to fan sites full of his photo shoots. Wow, tropical Hayden. There was a lot of Hayden stuff in here. Just a stack. Woman magnetism, blessed with clean-cut features and the look of a handsome, old-school Hollywood actor, Hayden Christensen hauls in his fair share of female fan mail. Coolness factor, when you get to play with lightsabers, act out scenes in a famous black suit and cape, and French kiss the absolutely stunning Natalie Portman, life sure is good. It was kind of crazy going through everything and seeing all the Hayden Christensen fan sites. With all the hate that surrounded him after the prequels for well over a decade, but then after Disney sequels came out, people were like, well, maybe the prequels weren't so bad after all. And then the Hayden hype came back in full force. It's all about Hayden Christensen. Girls gob at him. Lads want to be him. Could he be more perfect? Young Hayden could get it though. Like Hayden now could get it. Jesus Christ. He'll always be delicious, I say. When I look at these live journal icons and like the burnt crispy version of them right here. Live journal icons though. MSN icons as well. Hayden. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Look into my eyes. Can I die now? Damn, some of these would hit on like Twitter or TikTok. Especially that one, like old money aesthetic Hayden. Wow. Mr. Canada. More live journal icons. Sorry, this one is getting me. It just says, oh yeah, and he's licking his lips. Oh, what is this one? There's even more live journal icons. Ah! This one just says, love the tongue, and there's 3 in a row. More icons for live journal. He looks like Iron Man here. Fresh from the shower, Hayden. Screenshots from an interview Hayden did in Japan. More live journal icons. We've got this Hayden of the month, as well as this pouty Anakin. Even more pictures of Anakin, ranging from baby girl. There are just stacks of individual pieces of paper, nothing but a single photo of Anakin on them. And there's duplicates too. We've got the iconic shot that's been going around recently of Hayden hitting this like over the shoulder pose. I really can't stop looking at it though. Like they both look so good. Here it is zoomed in. Now complete. Ultimate lightsaber battle. The biggest space dogfights. Wookiees at war and Anakin's gone bad to the bone in a world that got cut off. Empire lights up the dark side of Revenge of the Sith. Oh, it's like a prototype of the pose. Nowhere near as to, but it's a start. Gotta put your booty into it, Anakin. This is where the fun begins. It's a burnt marshmallow. They made him bald in this one. No, he's well done. And what I was most excited about, a horde of Star Wars fan fiction. I just found a small stack of Star Wars fan poetry. Don't see much of that anymore. Guys, I found our first fanfic, or I guess collection of fanfics. It's from a old fanfiction web ring called Skywalker Journeys. Gosh, they talk about AUs and OCs here as well, and this is from September 4th, 2005. Oh, there's more fanfic and fan poetry. Jeez, there's a lot in here. These ones say they're rated G. This one's PG for violence. Oh, the last binder, the last stack. Stapled all nice and neat. Padme fanfiction. A missing scene from Attack of the Clones. Padme convinces Anakin to use her as bait for the assassin. There's another one. Jesus Christ. Look at that. Holy shit. What the? This fic is 52 pages. Cloudy symbols of high romance. So much fanfic in here, and they're all stapled. A returning category, romance, schmoop, wee bit of angst. February 24th, 2003. This is from the Force.net's fanfiction archive. Last encounter by Fern Withy. Author's note. This one will undoubtedly be contradicted by Uncle George within 6 years. I usually stay away from the things I think he might breathe on, but I just wanted to write this. More fan poetry from the fanfic pile. Vader's Mask fanfiction archive. Wait, she marked the one she wanted to read. Took a little highlighter next to the titles. I hope she was able to read them. Oh. Another one by Fern Withy. Popular. This one feels a little naughty. Oh, shit! This is like an AU. where Padme survived. It's first person from Anakin's perspective. Padme, I croaked in a strangled voice, but instantly see I would get no answer. Her thin jawline was set defiantly, her determined brown eyes purposefully avoiding me. What deed have I done to have the honor of being graced by the presence of Lord Vader? She spat. Oh, is this entire binder just fanfic? Dude, there's more from Fernwithy. Fernwithy, you icon. And then round 2 of sorting commenced, to go through everything a little more in depth. There were packets and packets of IMBD pages and articles, scans of magazine blurbs, some Star Wars Battlefront 2 promo, quotes, both classic and unconventional, 50 pages of a Google Images search for Revenge of the Sith photos. I found a pic of the Game Boy game I played as a kid, book covers, even more movie screencaps, action figures, which, speaking of, I haven't even brought up my mom's Star Wars figurine and toy collection yet because it's deadass just a closet full of stuff. That's gonna need a whole dedicated day to organize. Poster and merchandise websites, movie reviews from fans, character bios, including some from the EU of Han and Leia's kids and Mara Jade. Heated forum debates over story plot points and how the Force works. Vader's gonna be nothing but a head, some nipples, and a spinal cord once they pull him out of the volcano. Forget the mechanical suit, man, those kind of losses will slow a guy down. Well, at least he still has his nipples, I guess. A lot of debating over telekinesis and how Vader is able to use the Force to choke people without his arms, but he can't do, like, Force lightning and other abilities. There's so much getting into how strong Vader is in the suit versus how strong he was as Anakin. Comparing him to Grievous, midichlorians are being brought up. The encyclopedia entry for Vader says he is kept alive by a combination of the suit and his own dark will. If you have to concentrate on keeping your broiled carcass alive, that has to be a bit of a distraction. Even Sith can only do so many things at once. That ties into why I think Anakin really died. Palps fried his suit, but I think that if Anakin had still been in touch with his hatred, he could have kept himself alive long enough to undergo repair. He's no longer using his hate to sustain himself, so he dies. It's a plot point, people. If Vader was as powerful as he was supposed to be, why did he serve Palpatine for 20-some years? I hate the whole midichlorians thing. It's stupid and diminishes the whole aspect of the Force being a spiritual power that all could tap into if they were properly trained. Yeah, I can agree with that sentiment. Pre-release Revenge of the Sith theories. Padme won't die theory. Okay, so many people say it's Padme's death that turns Anakin to the dark side. Well, it can't be. Think about it. Leia and Luke are given away after Anakin turns to the dark side. Padme gives them away so she couldn't die before that, but I just think she'll vanish. Padme's death. Most people think that Padme's death will occur in episode 3. I have reason to believe that is not true. As I see it, this happened in episode 4. You just don't see it happen there, therefore you will have to assume it. At the end of episode 3, the twins will separate, Obi-Wan will take Luke to Tatooine, and Padme will take Leia to Alderaan. This is why you have to assume, because Alderaan is blown up, Padme was on it at the time, and she must be dead. Interesting theory, I don't think Obi-Wan knew about Leia. Remember when Obi-Wan said that boy is our last hope, but Yoda said there is another. Boba theory! Boba Fett saw his father get killed by Mace Windu, right? Well, Vader tells Fett no disintegration in The Empire Strikes Back. Maybe, when all the Jedi are being killed by Anakin, Boba and Mace get into a fight that results in Mace being disintegrated. Episode 3 will start out with the end of the Clone Wars in a big battle. While this is happening, Yoda finds Dooku at his headquarters or stronghold. Anakin comes in seeing Dooku, and he is angry and wishes to get his revenge for his lost arm. At the Jedi Council room, his marriage to Padme is revealed as common knowledge, and he's expelled from the Jedi Order because of it. Anakin discovers Obi-Wan was the snitch, and Obi-Wan found out from C-3PO, but that fact is never revealed to Anakin. Anakin leaves and goes to Palpatine. He blames Obi-Wan for getting him expelled. Anakin blows up the Jedi Temple. The Resistance is destroyed along with Jar Jar. Anakin's lightsaber. I think that Anakin could build one specifically for his son to say that if he has a son, that Obi-Wan please give it to him. Or he could lose it in the duel to Obi-Wan, or he could leave a note saying, Obi-Wan, I am a Sith Lord, and if I have a kid out there, please give this to him. Planets. I think they will show the planet Corellia, because this is where the battleships are made, and a good way to show that Han Solo is around at this point as a cameo. Dagobah is where I strongly feel like Luke and Leia are born. Tatooine is where Luke is dropped off. Coruscant will be where Anakin will fight Windu and Dooku, I think, but Anakin will want to get Palpatine out of Coruscant. Whew, this is a long one, but TLDR, Geonosis is involved. Republic spies report that there is a weapon of unimaginable power being built on Geonosis. It's to decide that to win the war, the Republic must have this weapon. Palpatine speaks to the Republic and that he is the new Supreme Emperor who will end the Clone Wars. It seems that everyone thinks that the twins were born on Dagobah, though, and that Padme goes with Leia to Alderaan before she dies. And several fan sites. There are several fan listings, Anakin and Padme-centric sites and blogs, sites for Luke and Leia and the entire Skywalker family. One fan site, the Padawan's Guide, is still around actually, and is dedicated to Star Wars costumes, and even featured a guide to Lake Como for any fans wanting to reenact Anakin's sand monologue.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating.
It gets everywhere.
Another website called Desiring Hayden came up a lot, and after a quick search, I found they were active up until 2012. And as the title implies, it was dedicated to Hayden Christensen. A couple fan awards for best content that went to Desiring Hayden, and there was also Anakin and His Angel, or AAHA, a fan site dedicated to Amidala that hosted anything and everything related to Anakin and Padme's romance. We've got a subsect of Anakin and His Angel here. Anakin and His Angel itself includes quotes, avatars, wallpapers, fan art, quizzes, news, photos, images, fanfiction, theories, polls, newsletters, captions, links, poetry, and discussion forums. Welcome to Across the Stars, the approved fan listing for the Anakin and His Angel website. What is a fan listing? A fan listing is a place for all fans of a particular subject area to come together and build the biggest listing of people from around the world who happen to be fans of that subject. This particular fan listing honors a wonderful Star Wars fan site named Anakin and His Angel. So it's literally just a site listing all the fans of something. This is a fan site dedicated to Sabe, one of Padme's handmaidens. I guess my mom was fond of Padme's handmaidens, and it makes sense because they are side characters that aren't super fleshed out, and so you're able to kind of craft your own personalities and stories for them, like OCs. But because they're still present in the Star Wars storyline, you're able to feel like you're part of the canon. Some of you non-obsessive fans might be wondering who exactly Sabe is. Sabe is Queen Amidala's decoy, her loyal handmaiden who takes her place during times of danger. She only appears in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and has very few lines, but there's just something about her that sparked my interest. There's a fandom section with Sabe/Obi-Wan fanfic and fan art. But wait, there's more, and if you're a fan of the 2005 Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley, hold on to your hats because we have Sabe x Obi-Wan! Fated to Be. Welcome back to Fated to Be, my Sabe-Wan shipper fan site. There's lots of material, old and new, to keep you busy. Got a little Sobe chat in the corner as well. How's that for a rare pair? If you don't know who I am, I'm Obi's girl. Yes, the same Obi's girl that runs the Amidala Sanctuary, which is in fact Fated to Be's sister site. This is so fun. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's a Revenge of the Sith self-analysis quiz. Some of these questions are funny, so go ahead, laugh it up, fuzzballs. But if you were to answer honestly, you might just see where you're veering off course and be able to make adjustments before you go down the same path as Anakin. This is very BuzzFeedy, but it's fun. And finally, the moment that many of you have been waiting for, the fan fiction, the majority of which is Amidala focused and spans the period of time right before the wedding at the end of Episode 2, and all the way up to after Episode 6, when they're reunited in the afterlife. My mom mentioned reading fanfiction to me before, but said she stopped because she'd get mad that it wasn't canon, and she'd be like, why couldn't this have happened instead? And it's funny to see that sentiment reflected in the fics she liked. There were some non-Amidala fics though too, that were more Anakin and Vader-centric, Padme-centric, some about Luke and Leia post-Episode 6, and some dedicated entirely to Padme's handmaidens. The fan poetry was a bit of a surprise for me though, as I don't think I've read fan poetry since like early high school. A total of 104 fics and poems were printed out. This all is from a fanfiction archive website called Vader's Mask. It's all Amidala, basically. For Padme, I opened the door to my apartment and closed it behind me. I leaned against the door, surveying my barren apartment. Then I cried. For Padme, Vader has questions for his wife, and she has some for him as well. Fall to madness. What if Vader had survived the duel on the Death Star and had to fight the demons of his own conscience after he arrived on Endor? Got some pictures as well. Fallen angel. Padme, I whisper. I don't know what to say to her. I want to say I'm sorry for what I've put her through, but I've never been good at apologizing to anyone. Before going off to face Obi-Wan, Vader has one more confrontation, even more difficult. Stories of Anakin after Return of the Jedi. Galaxies that never were. Alternate universe Anakin stories. Reconciliation. The boy angel. Anakin, without thinking, blurted out the first question that came to his mind. Am I dead? To his surprise, Obi-Wan laughed. Yes, he answered. From a certain point of view, but in another sense, you've just come alive. After his body dies, Anakin finds himself in a strange series of symbolic worlds where he's given a chance to find things he once lost. This one is called Freefall, and it's Anakin and Padme's wedding night. I don't know how smutty this will get, but we're about to find out. He's adjusting to his new mechanical arm post episode 2. Padme comforts him. Oh, he's getting used to sensations using his new mechanical arm. He had suffered and lost so much in the brief time they had been together. She was determined to make this a new and joyous start for the both of them. Now, however, she just wanted to lie here and be his wife, be his lover, be complete, joined, one. It's very much a fade to black, to be continued sort of thing. A different plan. Vader had known from the beginning that his plan could turn out like that, and now he had to bear the brunt of its backlash. Vader's discovery of his daughter leads to a brash plan to defeat Palpatine and rejoin his family, if the machinations of enemies and the anger of his family doesn't derail it. The rocker chair, this one is 23 pages. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now that you've got me to yourself today, she pulled one hand slowly around to his front and traced a line lightly down his chest and abdomen with her fingertips. Tell me, Master Jedi, she whispered huskily and then slowly nuzzled his throat. For our baby, he purred and suddenly lifted her into his arms. I have other plans for you. A fade to black sort of thing, and he builds the baby a rocking chair. This one is from an MSN group. Disclaimers in the Force, leave me alone, guys, and it's rated R. Oh my! Oh, this one gets pretty, oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I can't read any of that. Hour of Souls. Oh, this takes place in episode 2, pre-wedding, when Anakin is still healing from his arm getting cut off. And then Padme visits him at the Jedi Temple. I want you, he said. Oh no, Padme thought. He's not going to make this easy. His directness was as unsettling as always. You have me, she said. Her eyes left his face and she looked out the window. You have been officially identified as a bad influence on me, and given the present circumstances, it is unlikely that either one of us will live long enough to have children. That was like a missing scenes fic. Oh my god, this one's 23 pages. Reconciliation, the boy angel. Oh, this is the one we saw earlier, when after Anakin dies, he goes through a whole symbolic journey, I guess like as an entity of the Force. Oh, and he visits Leia, and she goes, "Are you an angel?" Callback! Oh, and then he reunites with Padme in the end. They had arrived at their final destination. It was a forest, green and living. It didn't matter where. Anakin and Padme, somehow between youth and old age, a time both of them had missed in life, turned to each other. Anakin recalled Obi-Wan's words, "You must make this journey alone." Yes, he had been alone, but now he and his wife were one again. He would never be alone as long as that bond held. He would make sure it did. Well, Padme said, "It's a start." Anakin offered her his hand and they began walking among the trees. "Yes," he said quietly. "A start." Process of elimination. Corellia is mentioned again. I guess Vader is confronting Bail Organa because he's known to be sympathetic to the Jedi Rebellion. Oh goodness, Vader comes across an infant Leia. Padme's child would have been this size, a voice said in his mind. Your child. Vader cut that thought off as well as he could, the sight of the infant no longer a harmless curiosity. His child had never had the chance to learn to fear death either, but it had come anyway, brutally and unexpectedly, at the hands of her father. Ew. The great beast inside of him, the grief he had tethered only with great effort, strained to get free. He reached down into himself, found it, and grasped its throat. Fire and Darkness. This takes place 3 years after Revenge of the Sith. Oh, this is an AU where Padme survived, and she was in hiding. Oh, and he's terrified of seeing her again. What would she think when she saw him? She'll simply see a monster, he thought bitterly. Vader crouched beside his stunned wife. Gently, almost reverently, he lifted her chin. Even hidden by this dreadful disguise, Anakin, her Anakin, still shone through. And then she dies? Really? Made a stormtrooper shoot her in the back with their aim? As Vader, he was strong. Anakin was now dead. And then he just crashes out. Just flipping through these fics, a lot of them have to deal with Padme surviving and going into hiding somewhere. And then Anakin finds her and their whole reunion after she meets him as Vader. This one, old friends, long gone. What the f*** is Jar Jar doing here? Wait, what the f***? Annie, he whispers, Yusa, alive! What's happened to you? Vader regards him with a cocked head and says, if Kenobi still lives, you may ask him. Wait, Jar Jar became like a rebel leader and then meets with Leia after Return of the Jedi. Oh, we have Jason and Jaina here too. This one involves Padme's handmaidens, and they want to reach out to Luke and Leia to talk about Padme and let them know about their mother. This is a long one. This one is Padme-centric, and she's interacting with her handmaidens. Palpatine and Padme have some conversations, and she's kind of sussed out by him. Yet another one where she goes into hiding on Alderaan, and I guess Anakin found her, but Palpatine intercepted that, and when she was getting ready to leave Alderaan, he kills her. Handmaiden Tales, Rabe. Oh, she meets Obi-Wan shortly after he becomes a Jedi Knight, and she gets pregnant! Oh my gosh, another one! This time, Dorme is the one that gets together with Obi-Wan. We've got Skywalker Journeys, a fanfiction web ring. Oh, this is like a collection of fic recs. Knights and Arrows Abound, a Clone Wars story with Anakin and OCs. Padme fanfiction. This is from PadmeandLeia.com. Queen elected. Padme Amidala just was elected Queen of Naboo, and the former king has died under mysterious circumstances. A returning. 10 years after the Phantom Menace, a queen must make a choice about who she shall marry. Missing images. Short vignettes of Padme and Annie's relationship spanning episode 1 and 2, written pre-Attack of the Clones. Got a whole bunch more listed here. The Heart's Fondest Desire. A newly married Padme returns home for the holidays without Anakin. Padme's story. Padme deals with pregnancy and Anakin's fall to the dark side. That was one of the ones I saw just flipping through everything. Vader's begging Padme to join him. Per usual, we have another list, and then a list of fan poetry recs. Living for love. In a life fraught with anguish, I fight for the rights that I forfeit. Never succumbing to the pain and suffering that threaten to engulf me, I live and die for the hope that the power of my love and my endurance will prevail. From the death of midnight soul, born of the sun, I grew in fiery day, the light around me always, friend and foe, a master's orders ever to obey, but harshness softened by the gentle glow of loving heart too pure to taint, a gentle guiding hand to paint. My life in shades of wondrous brown and gold, and childhood demons a soft kind voice, consoled. Yet far away in the night's endless blue, I felt you waiting, alone and cold. From the depth of midnight soul, I called you. My soul's secret, a deep down dream that cannot wake. Just beyond my vision, beyond the reach of my eye, it will hover in the shadow until hope's cry brings my vision at last around to true, and pulls me back to the light I can't deny. From the depth of midnight soul, I'll call you. This whole Star Wars scrapbook project took place when my mom was in her late 30s to early 40s, and it really hammers home that you don't have to give up the stuff that you're passionate about or what makes you excited, just because you're getting older or you have a job or you become a parent. It can be difficult balancing everything, yeah, but you're allowed to have fandom interests and things that make you happy at any age. During this whole process, there were a few surprises that popped up, some of which weren't even Star Wars related.
Yes, Hey, Winston.
It's the OG Fantastic Four. Batman Mask of the Phantom. Let's go. Behind the scenes on Batman Begins. Oh my god, this really is a time capsule. My mom was a big Smallville fan as well, and we got a couple Smallville things mixed up in here. Oh shit, there's a lot of Smallville in here. Quanah versus Clois. My mom was a big Quanah fan. And some that were really sweet and pretty emotional to find. Oh, my mom took some notes on the back of this stack. I won't show the phone numbers, but see it right there. It's nice to see something like that while I'm sorting through all this. Oh, I found more of her writing. I guess the printer cut off part of the picture, so she wrote in the rest. I found my old dance and musical theater schedule shuffled amongst the packets of fan fiction. As you can imagine, this video was a lot for me emotionally. I'm honestly still processing a lot of what's happened in the past year. But like I said before, I wanted this to be a celebration of my mom's passion and her own journey in fandom, and a peek into the joy that it sparked for her. Again, evidently the apple didn't fall far from the tree. And I can only hope to pass on that same passion to my future kids if I have them, as well as all of you who enjoy my stuff. Yeah, it can be really hard because she'd always be one of the first people I'd go to when I was excited about something new that came out, and it'd be like, oh my gosh, Mom, look at this show, look at this movie, look at this musical. So not having that has been lonely. I am really glad that I still have all of this to remember that period of my life with her. Just coming home from school in 2nd and 3rd grade and talking about Star Wars and Superman nonstop. She would get so excited too. Like, if you wonder where the goofiness and like the exuberance comes from in my videos, it's all her. Thank you so much for joining me on this little show and tell session of my mom's old Star Wars fan archive. I need to get more binders for this, but I want to put everything into a collection of Star Wars scrapbooks like she wanted to do. It might take a little while as a project considering I'm working with 75 pounds worth of paper here, but I think it'll be a nice tribute for her. If you've got any stories of members of your family being involved in fandom, I'd love to hear them in the comments. I still need to talk about teaching my aunt to use AO3 properly after she wanted to read K-pop fanfiction. As always, if you want to see more fandom, fanfic, and fan culture-esque videos from yours truly, then feel free to subscribe. And if you'd like to check out my fanfiction recommendation spreadsheet with over 1,000 fics on there, as well as watch exclusive videos you can't find on my channel, then head on over to my Patreon or YouTube memberships. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!